Okay, a little change of pace today with our new video, which is sponsored, by the way, by Home Title Lock, but more about that in a little bit. We're going to check in with Reddit's parenting advice forum. We've gone through relationship questions on Reddit, and now we're gonna see if we can sort through some of the quandaries, snafus, plights, and predicaments the Reddit parents find themselves in, and I'll see if there's any advice that I can offer, any clarity I can offer. Let's jump right into it. Here's the first question. It says, I have two boys, 8 and 9. I'm rather laid back as a parent. They can typically do what they want as long as they're done with their homework, brush their teeth, etc. I typically don't ground them often, usually if they were fighting or didn't do homework. They're pretty good boys and I don't have to ground them often, a day or two for a given month. My wife tells me that grounding/timeouts is abuse, and I need to let them face the natural consequences of their actions, like smelling bad or not getting good grades. I'm a strong believer in positive reinforcement, but also I think you need some sort of negative reinforcement tool for when it doesn't work. Absolutely no punishment seems a couple steps too far. Am I wrong? Okay, a couple things here. Number one, your kid smelling bad is not a consequence to him. That's a consequence to everybody else. That's a consequence to everyone who has to be around your kid. You're punishing everyone in the vicinity of your child. Kids don't care if they smell bad. Have you ever actually smelled a room full of third graders? Especially after recess. It is rough stuff. So that's the first thing. Second, you say you don't ground them often, usually only if they're fighting. So you mean that you ground them every day because they're 8 and 9-year-old brothers. They're definitely going to fight all the time. Not as often as, say, a 12 and 14-year-old pair of sisters would fight, or even like a 32 and 34-year-old pair of sisters, but still, they're going to fight a lot. Third thing, most importantly, yes, you need to punish your child. See, your job as a parent, part of your job anyway, is to prepare your children for adulthood. And so let me ask you, is adult life a place where there's only positive reinforcement? Is that the only kind of enforcement you're going to find is positive? Reality is full of negative reinforcement. That's reality's whole thing. That's life's whole thing. 95% of the enforcement in life from reality is negative. That's science right there. So yes, you want to ground your kids. Prepare your kids for that reality now so that they don't become the sorts of entitled brats that we all have to deal with. Speaking of punishing everybody else. You don't want your kid to become a smelly, disgusting, entitled brat. That's the point. Okay, this says, my son is 8 and a half and acts like it's a damn chore to go play outside. He's very into Legos, Xbox, and Hot Wheels, which is fine, but I'm a firm believer in kids being outside. He has a bike, scooter, electric scooter, a freaking go-kart, and a hoverboard, and every time I recommend him going outside to do one of those things, he lets out a pouty sigh. I am so over it. How do I get him to engage in more outside play? Take away his Xbox? He only plays it 3 times a week, maybe. Suggestions? How is this a question? What's the controversy here? Yes, take away the Xbox. Next question. Why do you have to think about that? Your kid's playing the Xbox too much. You want him to go outside. He's not. No, don't buy him more electric gadgets to play with outside. That's not the right way. He doesn't need that. There are trees outside that he can go climb. There's grass that he can roll around in. Yes, you take the Xbox away. And you don't give it back either. I'll never understand parents who worry about this kind of thing. Well, what happens if I take the phone away? What happens if I take the Xbox away? They'll be mad at me. They might beat me up. He's 8 years old. Just take it away. You should be playing with it in the first place. It's not making his life any better. How is the Xbox making your 8-year-old's life any better? It's not. This to me is so not an issue for me as a parent. If the kids have a toy that they're fighting over, I take it away. If they're playing with it too much and not going outside, I take it away. They've been watching TV too long, I turn it off. Tell them go outside. They say, I don't want to go outside. I don't care. Go outside. Do I need to pick you up and bring you outside and shut the door? Because I will. This one says, I'm a mom to a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The problem is my biggest doesn't like to spend time with me and cries when his dad goes out, and I don't think he loves me. I try to play, but he whines instantly and fights with his brother. Therefore, I grab my mobile, and that's British for phone, by the way, and I stop focusing on him. We're staying almost all day together, and he is driving me crazy. He never acts this way with anyone but me. I try to cheer him up, but it always fails, and I'm stuck with it with whining 24/7. I also don't sleep at night because his brother wakes me up every hour, and his behavior is making me cry every day. If his dad is around, he'll stop whining and play, but every 2 or 3 days, I'm faced with the same problem. I try to distract him from the crying, but I have a lot of responsibilities too, and anytime I spend time with him, he ends up angry on some small stuff. It's making me fear the times I spend with him. Please help. Okay, let's go back to this sentence because I feel like this is a big sentence. There's a lot in this sentence right here where you said, I try to play, but he whines instantly and fights with his brother. Therefore, I grab my phone and stop focusing on him. So you try to play with him. He instantly whines, and so you grab your phone. Well, I gave you a chance, 4-year-old. Back to Twitter. I'm thinking you've confused the chicken and the egg here. We've got a classic dilemma. Is it that your 4-year-old doesn't want to spend time with you? Or is it that you don't want to spend time with him? And he's picking up on that. So is he rejecting you, or is he responding to your rejection of him? Like, is it that he's not super thrilled about spending time with you because he knows that the moment he, is a little bit annoying, you're going to pick up the phone? Or you say you're crying every day. Are you crying a lot in front of the kid too? He might not be super enthusiastic about spending time with you then. Can you blame him? The thing is, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's 4. He's going to act like a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds whine. It's what they do. 4-year-olds are allowed to cry every day. I don't think adults should be. But for a 4-year-old, that's their language. They don't have anything else. Crying and whining for a 4-year-old, that's their language, that's their custom, their tradition, the custom of their people. You're whining too, right now. Whining, in fact, is a human language. We all do it. Holding whining against a 4-year-old is really ridiculous for that reason. So even if he's the one who started it by not wanting to hang out with you, so what? Get off your damn phone, put some sustained effort into it. If you can't entertain a 4-year-old, then that's a sad state of affairs. They are the easiest humans to entertain by far. You never thought COVID could cost you your home, right? It just might, because cybercrime is up 75%, and by far the most serious cybercrime to worry about is home title theft. That's right, cybercriminals, foreign and domestic, are now after our homes, and it's easier than you think. The title documents to our homes are online now. The thief finds your home's title, forges your signature on a quit claim deed stating you sold your home to him, then he takes out loans on your home and leaves you in debt. You won't know until late payments or eviction notices arrive. Insurance doesn't cover you, and neither do common identity theft programs. That's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock. The instant Home Title Lock detects someone tampering with my home's title, they help shut it down right away. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then use code Walsh to receive 30 free days of protection. That's code Walsh at HometitleLock.com. HometitleLock.com, code Walsh. This one says, we have 3 girls aged 2 months, almost 2, and 4.5. The youngest is sleeping through the night half the time. Don't hate me. So I feel we should move her into her own room sooner than later. I figured we'd have another couple of months, so now I'm scrambling to move our 2-year-old out of her room and into her sister's room. We got them bunk beds, but man, I'm so scared they're going to keep each other up. Is it going to be pure chaos with them in one room together? They both have separate nighttime routines and go to bed at different times right now. Help. Okay, 2 and 4-year-old. Oh yeah, they're going to keep each other up. They will keep each other up, wake each other up. They're going to be up at 4:30 in the morning, every morning. Better believe it. It's going to be so bad. And it's going to be that way for a long time. It's going to last years of this. So avoid putting kids together if you can. I firmly believe that. If you can't, though, then buckle up. Grin and bear it. Sleep is for the weak. That's what you got to tell yourself. Adopt that attitude. It's not true. It's ridiculous. I mean, you need to sleep or you'll die. But you have to tell yourself that just to survive mentally. That's what I've had to do. Our 7-year-old and our 4-year-old sons share a room. And I don't think they've actually slept since last March. I don't know if they've slept at all. They're up late. They wake up at like 4 in the morning. We're all going slowly insane in our house. Please help me. I just want to sleep. But I guess I'm supposed to be the one giving advice right now. So we'll put that to the side. Here's what I would say. Look on the bright side. They're girls. So girls are more docile. They'll probably wake up at 4:30 in the morning, but they'll stay in their rooms, brushing each other's hair, doing a tea party with the dolls, whatever it is. My boys are up literally bouncing off the walls. I don't say that as an expression or a figure of speech. Actually bouncing, running into the walls. The other day I walked into the room And my 7-year-old son said to me, "Hey, Daddy, watch this." And then he just ran and hit the wall on purpose. That's what boys do. So you don't have that. Be grateful. Let's see. Finally, last question. How do I prevent my child from peeing on me when I change his diaper? Well, you could try a strategically placed traffic cone right over the danger zone. That's one thing you could do. I'll tell you what my strategy is. Here's what I do. It's really interesting. I just never change the diaper to begin with. I avoid at all costs changing a diaper. So this is a whole category of problems that I don't have to deal with. I typically will look the other way when there's a dirty diaper, and I'll let my wife discover the problem. And look, it's not something I do for me. I want to be clear about that. This is not selfishness on my part. This is something that I do because I know my wife cherishes those bonding moments with her children. And that's so important to me. That is so important to me for her to have those moments. And those are the sacrifices that I'm willing to make for those that I love. And that's what parenting is all about. It's about making sacrifices. And that's the message I want you to take from this.